or I have broken that law. I mean, and it's not actually the person that's admitting to things, Gina. What I have found is that the computer system is trying to subdue you to the point of believing that you have done these things.
Instilling guilt, which is something that God does not do.
Exactly, very good. They're using, something, that's what I was saying earlier, drawn into the paradox of the fact that it is, because it's non-parallel to Christ. It is a paradox to Christ. And it is a completely different application. But they're now, Satan is a very, if you want to see Satan, well, actually, if you want to see a Luciferian victory, look at our religions. This is where you will find that, this is how successful evil is in the world. We have one Christ, we have one God. We have one way to our Father and our home. And Lucifer has divided it into 8,000 different religions, which are 8,000 different paths back to the Holy Land. Now, that's his effectiveness. When you can look out and say, well, I can be a Muslim or, a Mohammedan, I can be Buddhist or I can be Christian, Gnostic, angelic, the whole 9 yards. That is his effectiveness, is that Lucifer has literally taken the one path, through Christ to the Father, and divided it into 8,000 different roads, and that there are 16,000 demonic applications to mislead that one soul. So it's very effective. He is a very cunning, powerful adversary, and when you're on the football field, it's better not to be a tennis player,
Yeah.
You might want to know who your adversary is, and you might want to know what his game plan is if you are going to be productive in winning anything against him. The application of Lucifer and, a satanic existence here is that the parallel of, God and Jesus Christ. For one is there of the Spirit, the other one is the application, the manifestation of the flesh. And that's the bottom line. And the Bible explains that to you, in full detail, what's left of the Bible. They have literally whittled it down to where it is just a handbook of a horrible convenience.
Well, doesn't the New World Order come in and supposedly rewrite the Bible anyway as we approach the Antichrist? I've read that.
Yeah, most definitely. They're breaking it down now. If you notice, the Bible was a book that was so large that it had to be hauled around by 4 men in the Ark of the Covenant. Now it is whittled down so small you can fit it in your back pocket. You stub your toe. You take too many drugs. You get too drunk. Then all of a sudden you need God. That's the same with the country. That's the whole thing that the DoD is counting on. They're wanting to see stuff like that. Everybody, is their own existence until either they feel like they're going to die on their deathbed, or they've OD'd, or there's always a parallel that will draw you to the point of begging God for your life. I will never do this again. And sure enough, no matter how evil you appear to be to the face of man, somewhere inside of you is a whimpering, broken spirit that knows better. So inevitably, what man is trying to achieve here is going to be futile and fatal. It will lay down the course for the real.
The tribulation to come in, the tribulation.
That is correct. And to read, in the book of Revelation, to know where we are at chronologically, we are, now approaching the 5th bowl judgment in the book of Revelation, where one diseases and the prevalence, the actual processual steps of the Antichrist are upon us right now. And it wasn't something that is, it's definitely something that was inevitable, but it's not something that could have happened 50 years ago. It's not something that could have happened yesterday.
It progresses over time.
That's because of our technological ignorance, and through us is where Lucifer shall be effective in conquering us. For what a better way to kill a man than with his own hand. what a better way to blind a man than with his own eye? To trip a man with his own step. That's a Luciferian application. For if a man cannot see, he cannot fight. For if a man cannot stand, he cannot fight. For if a man does not know, he will not be able to do any of the above. He will not be able to have the knowledge to know, to see, or to want to fight. Lucifer is a very effective, cunning adversary, and this is where, no pun intended, but this is where man's eyes are wide shut. So...
Well, we're here to get them wide open because I think a lot of people are starting to notice this. But what I find very interesting about God is he is very gentle in his approach. He is not deceptive. He won't need ELF or VF or VLF or any of these other frequencies to perform his miracles. Satan needs this. Satan needs man-made technology. God does not. He created the world, and he didn't use technology to deceive. He's right there in front of us. He says, accept me, or you don't, and those are consequences, but you get your choice in life. Lucifer doesn't give a choice. He's out here, using, like you said, Luciferian tactics, such as the microwave auditory and this Project Bluebeam, to deceive people while they sleep or through music they hear. God doesn't do that. So to me, the right answer is still God, like he's always been for me. And it's horrible that this, yes, prophecy has always said we were going to move towards this, and we can't stop the second coming of Christ, and it's not, I don't think, our place to do that. But we can sure make people aware of this technology. And because it is deceptive, and it will ruin your life. These people will ruin your life. I talk to people all the time, just like you do, and I've spoken with you in the past, and they are out to destroy. And that's what Satan does. He doesn't bring happiness. He doesn't bring love. He doesn't bring perfection. He brings misery. He lies. Hey, if you're crippled, I'll heal you. And it's only temporary. It's a holograph. So I'm amazed that for this Antichrist rising, that he's so powerful that he needs man-made technology. God doesn't.
Yes, most definitely. The one thing, it would be that a satanic application for one to question man. Do this for me so that I may know that I can trust you. Because God the Father is not going to question you, for he already knows who you are. He does not have to put you through a test to see your love for him or trust, period. And that's where, we come into the parallel of understanding what is written biblically. For one is thereof an ignorant application of an unproductive man, and the other is that thereof, the graduation of a spirit through Christ. That's what it alliterates. And either these people, you've got to notice these things, to be completely relevant, and that's where I'm glad that I was able to see it, I thank him for who I am in him, because there's no way I'm not going to fall for this.
Yeah, I'm not falling for it. I'm not taking the chip with the 3 sixes. Yeah. If I have to starve, I guess I'm going to have to do that, because this has been prophesied for years. And I've been told, don't take that mark. And everyone knows at the end the mark comes. They're going to have to force it in me, because I've told people before, I refuse to take the chip. I fight these voices at night. I can't even talk back to them now, and it aggravates them. They're in misery every morning when they figure out at the end of the 7-hour indoctrination or however long I sleep that they failed again. And I look at it this way. With God, you win. With the devil, you lose. So no matter how much you bow to me, or, how many times you assault me, my soul is my soul. And I'm giving it to God.
Yeah,
I'm thankful for people like you that come forward and have this knowledge. I thank you for that, because a lot of people out there will look at this image in the sky, this holographic image, and they'll think it's a second coming of Christ when it's a false coming of Christ. So you show a lot of courage by coming out, and I really appreciate that.
Oh, no problem. I just know that what I know in my spirit and what I've been given what I've been born with, you know, is that for propagation, you know, and I will definitely try to plant the seed or stoke the coal in everyone's, you know, spirit that there is.